Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone who watching this video. So in this video, in this chance, I would like to make a presentation regarding the general midterm project and the subject of study that running on this is active listening skills. So, but before I gotta work on my presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. So my name is Daffa Praditya and or you can call me Daffa as well. My student's ID is 33210111 and 2. Okay, we're gonna move to the another slide of this presentation. So there are three objectives of this presentation. The first is understanding the message of native speaker, and the second is crafting our intelligence to develop words, and the last or third is enhance the sense of hearing for well-defined auditory catch. So the purpose of the first objective is you will able to understand the message of this native speaker because this auditory was voiced by the native speaker of the speaker itself. And the second is crafting our intelligence because in this presentation or in this change, after we heard the auditory, we required to make our own story with our own word from the auditory. So we develop a new word from the auditory. And the last is enhance the sense of hearing for well-defined auditory catch. And yes, as we know that this purpose is like the previous one, the understanding the method of the speaker. So also this presentation will able to make you more fluent in listening in English, especially improving your listening skills and also encouraging you to brave to speak in English. Okay, this is the background. So, what's the background? In English, listening is one of the necessary matters. Retelling auditory is one of path that you can go through with. And in order to enhance your intelligence along with your creativity and in developing words from the auditory. So, yes, this is the background. So I hope you understand it. So these are the purpose of retelling auditory. The first is intelligence, and the second is creativity. Okay, the first one is intelligence. Why intelligence? Because human using intelligence as the stuff to get legitimate by each other. In everything, we need to use our intelligence to crack problem and know how to deal with it. This is a fact, the matter of the fact. And the second is creativity. Creativity. Developing auditory is one of the paths that we can use for enhance our capacity to get more creative. And this is why creativity is one of the most necessary points on this presentation because you will developing word from the auditory and you will get creative from that. Okay. There's a bit quotes about this in this presentation. So to enhance our interconnectivity among intelligence and creativity, required to get used to it and do practicing what kind of matters. Okay, that's just some quotes of it. You can put this quotes to your social media or whatever. This just a bit of motivation for you to get fluent in English also. And yes, improving your listening or your English skills. Okay, how it works. So there are three kinds of matter in this presentation that are contained in this presentation. The first is intelligence as a tool, and the second is creativity as a platform, and the third is auditory as a form. So indeed, we use our intelligence as a tool, and then creativity as a platform for us to get developing the words from the auditory. And the last is auditory as the main form of this presentation. Okay, this is the first audio that I will gonna play this audio for the first. Okay, after I play this video, I will gonna
So
return.
Sarah, I see you eat soup every day at work. Why are you eating soup every day?
That's because I love to cook soup.
So you make the soup?
Yes, it's very easy to make.
So you cook it and then you just bring it to work every day?
Yeah, I just make a lot on Monday, and then I bring it to work every day of the week.
Oh, nice. So how do you make the soup? What's your secret?
Well, I like to cook very easy, so I buy meat that's already cut up, usually chicken, and then some rice, usually brown rice, and then I buy some vegetables. So after I bought the ingredients, I chop them up, and I put them all together in water until it boils and add some seasoning.
Okay. So you say the water boils, so as soon as the water boils, that's when you put in all the ingredients?
Yes, that's right.
So you don't put in the ingredients before the water boils?
No, I guess it's just easier if I add salt and pepper, maybe some garlic, and depending on the type of soup, either maybe some soy sauce or lemon juice.
Okay. Do you put in the flavoring after you put in the ingredients or before you put in the ingredients?
Maybe after, but usually right about all at the same time.
Okay.
So I just put everything in at one time.
And then after you cook the soup, do you put the soup in the refrigerator? Do you let it sit outside?
I usually eat some right then, and I also put it in containers for the week. But I let it sit in the containers out on the counter for a while for it to cool before I put it in the refrigerator.
All right. And so you don't put it in the refrigerator until it is cool?
Until it's about room temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And then how do you heat it up? Do you heat it up in a pot or do you heat it up in the microwave?
In the microwave. It's the easiest.
Yeah, nice. So you make enough for 5 meals?
Maybe, sometimes. If I think I will get tired of eating it during the week, then maybe I'll just make enough for 3 or 4 meals. But if it's some kind that I think is really delicious, and I know I'll want to eat it every day, then I'll make a lot.
Well, if that happens, when you make the soup, you can make it for 6 or 7 and give me a bowl.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
Oh, great. Thanks.
So yes, that's the first audio of this presentation. So I'm gonna retelling the first audio. So Shira is a worker who always cooks soup for her meal whenever she gets to heading off to work. And she do it because she loves to cook soup. Besides, she assumed that cooking soup is so easy. She makes a lot of soup on a Monday, and if there is any soup left, she just barely put it on the container so the soup will not get expired. And she also put the rest of the soup on the refrigerator, and she put the soup ingredients after the water boil and put all the flavor one time whenever the water boil and the ingredients have to get in. And the last, she usually makes 5 portions of soup, but if she feels tired, probably less than that. It's around 3 or 4 portions of soup. And her friends, her boyfriend, asked her if she can make 6 until 7 portion of soup for the next time. So he can get one bowl. Okay, that's the end of the first audio. So I'm gonna move to the next audio, the second audio of this presentation. Of course, I'm gonna play it like before. So listen to this audio first, then I will retain the auditory.
Hey Renee, do you happen to know where the movie theater is downtown? The one near the hospital.
Yeah, why do you want to know?
Well, on Monday, I asked Jennifer out on a date for this coming Saturday night.
Wow, you've really been seeing a lot of her lately. Sounds great. Okay, write down these directions so you don't get lost.
Okay, go ahead.
First, drive down First Street going west, cross the river and keep going straight until Pine Street.
Until Pine Street, right?
Right. Then turn left, and the movie theater is the second building on the right. It's next to the church.
Second building on the right. Got it. Now, can you recommend any nice restaurants?
Yeah, the Pink Flamingo serves excellent Spanish food.
Well, where's that?
Well, starting from the movie theater, go south on Pine Street, cross 2nd Street, and drive to 3rd Street. You'll see a parking lot on the left side of the street. Okay so far?
A parking lot on the left. Okay, then what?
Okay. Then turn left on 3rd Street and drive east. The Pink Flamingo is the building just before the river on the left side. I think it's open weekdays from 10:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night, but it stays open until midnight on weekends.
Okay, I think I've driven by there before. Oh, last thing. Where can I buy some flowers? We're going out to celebrate Jennifer's birthday.
Well, the only florist I know is in front of the stadium on 2nd Street. Try that one.
Great, thanks a lot.
Okay, that's the second audio. So I'm gonna retelling the second audio. So it's about a boy or a man who asks some recommends to his friends, and this is the what I catch from the auditory. So this is the direction to the movie theater. Drive down for the street to the west, cross the river, and keep straight onto the Pine Street, then turn left. And then the movie theater is in the second building on the right, next to church. And she recommends for a nice restaurant also for a romantic dinner for her friends. There is a Spanish restaurant named Pink Flamingo. So the Spanish restaurant direction is start from the movie theater, go and then go south on Pine Street, and then cross the 2nd Street and drive to the 3rd Street, and he will be able to see the parking lot on the left. After he gets his vehicle parked, then turn left on the 3rd Street and drive east. The Pink Flamingo is exactly near the river on the left side. So, and then the restaurant operational hours is from 10:30 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. on weekdays, and it stays up until like on the weekend. And lastly, for the florist, he can try to go to flower shop in the front of stadium on the 2nd Street. Okay, that's the second audio of this presentation, and we're gonna move to the third audio. This is the last audio of this presentation. I hope you still get your focus on this this video, because it's very necessary. It's quite longer than the previous one, so I hope you can get the meaning, or you can get the purpose of the auditor. Okay, you can just summarize this audio as well.
The Dog and the Sparrow by the Brothers Grimm. A shepherd's dog had a master who took no care of him, but often let him suffer the greatest hunger. At last he could bear it no longer, so he took to his heels, and off he ran in a very sad and sorrowful mood. On the road he met a sparrow that said to him, "Why are you so sad, my friend?" "Because," said the dog, "I am very, very hungry, and have nothing to eat." "If that be all," answered the sparrow, "come with me into the next town, and I will soon find you plenty of food." So on they went together into the town, and as they passed by a butcher's shop, the sparrow said to the dog, "Stand there a little while till I peck you down a piece of meat." So the sparrow perched upon the shelf, and having first looked carefully about to see if any one was watching her, she pecked and scratched at a steak that lay upon the edge of the shelf, till at last down it fell. Then the dog snapped it up and scrambled away with it into a corner, where he soon ate it all up. "Well," said the sparrow, "you shall have some more if you will, so come with me to the next shop, and I will peck you down another steak." When the dog had eaten this too, the sparrow said to him, "Well, my good friend, have you had enough now?" "I have had plenty of meat," answered he, "but I should like to have a piece of bread to eat after it." "Come with me, then," said the sparrow, "and you shall soon have that too." So she took him to a baker's shop, and pecked at 2 rolls that lay in the window, till they fell down, and as the dog still wished for more, she took him to another shop, and pecked down some more for him. When that was eaten, the sparrow asked him whether he had had enough now. "Yes," said he, "and now let us take a walk a little way out of the town." So they both went out upon the high road. But as the weather was warm, they had not gone far before the dog said, "I am very much tired. I should like to take a nap." "Very well," answered the sparrow, "do so, and in the meantime I will perch upon that bush." So the dog stretched himself out on the road and fell fast asleep. Whilst he slept, there came by a carter with a cart drawn by 3 horses and loaded with 2 casks of wine. The sparrow, seeing that the carter did not turn out of the way, but would go on in the track in which the dog lay so as to drive over him, called out, "Stop, stop, Mr. Carter, or it shall be the worse for you." But the carter, grumbling to himself, "You make it the worse for me indeed. What can you do?" cracked his whip, and drove his cart over the poor dog so that the wheels crushed him to death. "There," cried the sparrow, "thou cruel villain, thou hast killed my friend the dog. Now mind what I say. This deed of thine shall cost thee all thou art worth." "Do your worst and welcome," said the brute. "What harm can you do me?" and passed on. But the sparrow crept under the tilt of the cart, and pecked at the bung of one of the casks till she loosened it, and then all the wine ran out without the carter seeing it. At last he looked round, and saw that the cart was dripping, and the cask quite empty. "What an unlucky wretch I am!" cried he. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow, as she alighted upon the head of one of the horses, and pecked at him till he reared up and kicked. When the carter saw this, he drew out his hatchet, and aimed a blow at the sparrow, meaning to kill her. But she flew away, and the blow fell upon the poor horse's head with such force that he fell down dead. "Unlucky wretch that I am!" cried he. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow, and as the carter went on with the other two horses, she again crept under the tilt of the cart, and pecked out the bung of the second cask, so that all the wine ran out. When the carter saw this, he again cried out, "Miserable wretch that I am!" But the sparrow answered, "Not wretch enough yet," and perched on the head of the second horse, and pecked at him too. The carter ran up and struck at her again with his hatchet, but away she flew, and the blow fell upon the second horse, and killed him on the spot. "Unlucky wretch that I am," said he. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow, and perching upon the third horse, she began to peck him too. The carter was mad with fury, and without looking about him or caring what he was about, struck again at the sparrow, but killed his third horse, as he had done the other two. "Alas, miserable wretch that I am!" cried he. "Not wretch enough yet," answered the sparrow, as she flew away. "Now will I plague and punish thee at thy own house." The carter was forced at last to leave his cart behind him, and to go home overflowing with rage and vexation. "Alas," said he to his wife, "what ill luck has befallen me! My wine is all spilt, and my horses all three dead." "Alas, husband," replied she, "and a wicked bird has come into the house, and has brought with her all the birds in the world, I am sure, and they have fallen upon our corn in the loft, and are eating it up at such a rate." Away ran the husband upstairs, and saw thousands of birds sitting upon the floor, eating up his corn, with the sparrow in the midst of them. "Unlucky wretch that I am!" cried the carter, for he saw that the corn was almost all gone. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow. "Thy cruelty shall cost thee thy life yet." And away she flew. The carter, seeing that he had thus lost all that he had, went down into his kitchen, and was still not sorry for what he had done, but sat himself angrily and sulkily in the chimney corner. But the sparrow sat on the outside of the window, and cried, "Carter, thy cruelty shall cost thee thy life." With that he jumped up in a rage, seized his hatchet, and threw it at the sparrow. But it missed her, and only broke the window. The sparrow now hopped in, perched upon the window-seat, and cried, "Carter, it shall cost thee thy life." Then he became mad and blind with rage, and struck the window-seat with such force that he cleft it in two. And as the sparrow flew from place to place, the carter and his wife were so furious that they broke all their furniture, glasses, chairs, benches, the table, and at last the walls, without touching the bird at all. In the end, however, they caught her, and the wife said, "Shall I kill her at once?" "No," cried he, "that is letting her off too easily. She shall die a much more cruel death. I will eat her." But the sparrow began to flutter about, and stretched out her neck, and cried, "Carter, it shall cost thee thy life yet." With that he could wait no longer, so he gave his wife the hatchet, and cried, "Wife, strike at the bird, and kill her in my hand." And the wife struck, but she missed her aim, and hit her husband on the head, so that he fell down dead, and the sparrow flew quietly home to her nest. The End of The Dog and the Sparrow by the Brothers Grimm. Read by Rick Kishner for Lit2Go on the web at fcit.usf.edu.
Okay, that's the end of the third audio on this presentation. So I'm gonna retelling the third audio. It's quite long, but I will make it summarize, or I will make it short. So Once upon a time, there is a dog with a master on him, but his master doesn't take care of him very well. The dog was starving, really great starving. Then a sparrow comes and see the dog was very weak. Afterwards, the sparrow and the dog were walked along to the town for getting food. When they were arrived at butcher's shop, Sparrow asked dog to stand there and he will get some food for him. After that, the dog and the sparrow are heading off to bread shop due to the dog still feels hungry. And after the dog was filled and then both of them walk around, but in the middle, the dog feels sleepy and then decide to sleep on the road. But no longer after he falls asleep, there's a driver who wants to go through the road and demands to remove the dog. The sparrow rejected his demand and in the end, the driver killed the dog. The sparrow was grief-stricken. He leaked the barrels of wine in the wagon and pegged out the horse eyes. In anger, the driver lashed his whip at the sparrow and it flew away. So when the driver reached home, his wife dragged him to the rooftop and showed him thousands of birds which were pecking at their corn, and their midst was a sparrow, who was laughing seeing the mess. What sorrow has struck me? Cried out the man. Not yet, replied the sparrow. But with anger, the man caught the sparrow and put it in its mouth. The sparrow struggled and screamed, "This will cost you your life." The man's wife grabbed her knife and struck at the sparrow. The sparrow escaped in time and the man was killed instead. So yes, that's the end of this. That's the end of the third audio, and this is the end of this present. And this will be the end of the presentation on this in this change. So we're gonna move to the next slide, which is conclusion. So the conclusion is retelling auditory can improve your ability in listening, thinking creatively. Once you get done with it, then you will be able to make yourself get the useful further. Well, so what does it mean? What does that mean? Because of retelling auditory is quite important to improving your English skills, especially in listening skills. Because if you were able to retelling the auditory, which is quite longer like the prior one is about it takes 6 minutes to hear, but then if you were able to catch the meaning or catch the and or summarize the auditory, so it means that you have stepped further to improving your listening skills, especially in English. So so yeah, if you get it, if you get for use, if you get to use for further, then you do practicing every day, listening and listening to the English auditory, then you will be able to hear what native speaker say, and you will be able to get the meaning of what native speaker says about. And yes, this is the end of this presentation. My name is Daffa Praditya and my student's ID is 3321 and 2. I am from English literature student from English department at Bina Sarana University, Bina Sarana Informatika University. I would like to say thanks for watching this video and goodbye. Thank you everyone who was watching this video. Bye bye.